Coach Tina here. It's day 5 of my foray into the RPM planner from Tony Robbins. And after my first full week, so Monday through Friday, I know I still have Saturday and Sunday where I'm going to get to bundle a lot of things in, but also have a lot of personal things that are on the list. I'm really enjoying the product. I just have to tell you, I mean, I love planners. I'm a planner person, but there's something about this one that feels like Tony said, it's a pull. It pulls to you, and or you are pulled to it. So I know I've heard some comments about people being like this is feeding their addiction to doing tasks. I'm using that. I'm running with it because to me that is an important component is that I want to do it. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what was on my list? And then I do a few things from memory because I figure that's what's going to be key is the things that I know I'm supposed to do, like no. And then I come upstairs and I open up the product. And there's a few things I wanted to share today, some insights that I've had. So when you first come in, although I left it up here yesterday, so it's coming right into yesterday, and that's where I wanted to talk. But when you first come in, if you're coming in from the beginning, you're looking at your calendar and you can switch to the My Day. But this was yesterday, and at the end of the day, I completed, kind of the full circle. I'm seeing the cycle, and I didn't do all of my tasks yesterday. And so I was feeling a little bit guilty, and I've been analyzing like on a few things, I'm seeing the pattern, and I don't want that to be how I do things. So my plan is as follows. Um, I had been moving everything. And then I got to yesterday and I really didn't want to do this bathroom curtain project. I a couple weeks ago sewed a hem into our bathroom curtain and the edges didn't take, they unraveled. And so now it's kind of drooping on the sides. And every time I see it, I'm a little frustrated. And it's been on my list. And today or yesterday was the day I was supposed to do it. And then I've been seeing it each day in my bathroom and I just get angrier and angrier, which isn't a good solution. But what happened last night was I decided not to complete it and not to move it and to see what other options I had. And it was interesting because introducing that, it was kind of like asking a different question. And when I went down into, finished and completed and went down to bed in the bathroom, I saw it again and I grabbed out the needle and thread and I said, maybe I'll just do it. But there was my sewing kit right next to it. And I had some safety pins and I went, you know what? I'm just going to pin those up and see how that feels. And so I did that. And, maybe it's my solution. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is choices. And we get to make choices in how we do our days. When you complete the day, you're given a choice of the things you didn't finish, whether you should move them or just leave them unscheduled. What do you want to do with it? And it's great because then you can evaluate like what are the things that I'm not leaning towards? What are the things that aren't pulling me to them? And why? Ask better questions, journal about it, get real with yourself as to what it means. So the other thing I wanted to say is let's say I did want to move this forward. I am going to use a method. Now, you could just come in the notes and say first time, second time, whatever, maybe the dates you put on there. But an easy abbreviation for me is just to put a dot in front of the action. And then I'll know if I have 3 dots there that I need to do something different. That's my own personal, if I'm moving something 3 times, I have a block and I need to do something that changes the outcome. And then I just want to remind you that these are the scheduled things. So don't forget to go on your list. You can go up to the unscheduled and you can see if there were any actions that didn't get completed. I completed all my stuff. So if I switch over to today or I'd use the go to current day, I only have one thing scheduled for this evening. It's in progress. It is one of the ones that I moved forward from the other day. And then off to the side, I have things that are almost leveraged out where I know that someone else has to do the next step, but I don't want to forget about it. And so that's where I'm keeping it for now. It's working to some extent. And then I also wanted to show you that when you do a block, what I love is the block comes over into the area as well. So these are unscheduled. I wanted this block to be, it came in, it was in this week. This is something that I want to do. And yet I haven't addressed it yet. And so I can see the whole block. I can see the result and I can see the purpose, and it can re-engage me with it instead of just being a line item somewhere. I'm seeing the full impact. I'm seeing how long it's going to take. And now I recognize I can move it over into my Friday. And if you don't know how to do that yet, you just expand and you move it over. So currently I have the create the communication sequence over there, and that's not a problem, which shouldn't be coming up if it's unscheduled because, oh, you know what? This is an example of I probably have more than one instance, and I'm going to test that by moving it over here. And yes, so I can come into, this is just something to show you, come back into here and I can delete it. That way I don't have two instances. It's just because I duplicated it. I am finding that the projects that are taking more time, I need to not have one 2.5 hour project, but duplicate it and split those timings up and move them into the future. So the initial block gives me an idea of how long it's going to take. But then in order for me to actually complete it, if I haven't estimated my time correctly, that's giving me some options, and it's allowing me to, I'm going to unshare to make this point because this was really important to me. When I realized that I had been moving things over, I realized that it isn't necessarily the best course of action for me because I'm not getting the satisfaction of completing. So completion is when I say I'm going to work on something for X amount of time and I do it. That completes the block. I may not be done with the project. And so I can complete the block, I can duplicate it and add the hours now that I think it's going to take and move that to a different spot. So I get the completion, get the satisfaction, I get that on my list for those that are addicted to tasks. But I also know that I'm not going to drop the ball and I'm still going to do it. And it's going to help me track how long it's really taking me to do these things. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you're loving your RPM as much as I am. And I hope you have a really blessed day. Take care.